Hey everyone, this is Riddle Hacker AJ Raven with this week's recap and review of Midnight Texas, episode number 4, which is titled Sexy Beast. And this episode opens up with some random dude who ends up stealing his dad's car and pawning his dad's wristwatch. And he's just driving through Texas and he ends up meeting a blonde, beautiful woman. And of course, he invites her into the car, and you can tell that. I mean, this is Midnight Texas. You can't trust any new character you see here. So they kind of talk about how this woman has been attracted to various supernatural places, and she talks about how this area, Texas, is making her feel stuff because of some sort of energy it's giving out. And it turns out she is a supernatural creature, and she kills the boy who was giving her a ride, and we then get to the credits. So the opening credits like finish, and we see Manfred sharing some sensual time with Creek. And yeah, the previous episode number 3, also opened with the same scene. So I don't know if it's going to be a continuing thing, but yeah, whatever. So again, Creek is all about Manfred. You don't have to talk or tell my dad about what we are up to, because if he finds out, he's going to kill you because he doesn't trust you. And Creek also asks Manfred about this bullet wound that he has, but he doesn't necessarily give her an answer. Moving on, we cut to the pawn shop and we see Fiji and Bobo have an interaction. Fiji comes over to invite Bobo for dinner. And yeah, even though Fiji was friend zoned in the previous episode, you can tell that she still has feelings for Bobo, but Bobo is more or less grieving. He's all about, like, you can see the newspaper here. It talks about the sheriff that died back in episode 2, if I remember it correctly. So he wants revenge on the sons of Lucifer. Anyway, a woman comes into the pawn shop, and this woman is the sister of the random dude we saw in the opening scenes. And Bobo happens to have the wristwatch that this dude pawned. And yeah, so Bobo asks her to go and meet Manfred because he's a psychic, and he'll probably help her find her missing brother. Anyway, over in Manfred's trailer house, we see that he's talking to Zelda. And yeah, the person who's after Manfred, but he goes by the name Hightower, and Manfred owes him money. And Manfred knows that if he doesn't pay Hightower up, he's going to die. Anyway, the moment we get a scene where Fiji goes in and she also invites Olivia to dinner, but Olivia is all about that if it's not a girl night, you are attracted to Bobo, so you should make it a date. And Fiji is like, what will I wear? And Olivia is like, men don't like peasant skirts that you're wearing, so you need something cool. And yeah, I'm like, if Bobo doesn't like the way Fiji dresses, then maybe he's not the best man for her. But yeah, I guess Olivia was just giving some friendly advice, and Bobo likes Fiji just fine the way she is. Anyway, moving into the scene with Manfred and the woman, we see that the boy is dead, and Manfred goes to see the boy, goes to find the boy because to find or the blonde woman who ended up killing him. We see that a blonde woman ends up picking up her other random victim. And yeah, the makeup, the special effects, I really liked it because the episode actually showed her transformation. A lot of times when supernatural transformations are occurring, we don't get to see it directly in the camera, but we saw it here, so that was good. Like, the editing and the makeup was awesome. As you can see, she has rows of teeth. Like, good work here, makeup people. Anyway, we also get to see how Olivia spends her day. Olivia apparently has a job to do, and she has a wig on and her outfit. And we also see this person noticing her. Anyway, she ends up killing the target that she's on the job for, and we get to find out that Olivia has morals. She has feelings because the person she ends up killing is actually someone who embezzled money from people's funds. So apparently he had to go. So yeah, cut to Manfred, and we see him going to various clubs, and this is Girls Booby Trap, which is a weird name for a strip club, but whatever. We also see someone following Manfred, but we don't know yet who he is. And moving back to Olivia, after her mission is done, she notices the same person watching her again. So she ends up knocking him unconscious and taking him with her. Over at Fiji is all dressed up and she has everything prepared. She apparently made shepherd pies for Bobo. But yeah, Bobo calls her and tells her that he's on his way. But when Bobo reaches home, he sees that his place has been ransacked and he sees a swastika on the wall, and he knows that it has something to do with the sons of Lucifer. So he goes out to confront them. And coming to Manfred, he ends up reaching the rest house where the girl ended up finding her second victim. And I like the fact that Manfred understood that he can't beat this girl or this weird supernatural being on his own, so he just gets the hell out of there. So that's good thinking, Manfred. Over at Fiji feels that she stood up because Bobo ends up going after the sons of Lucifer without telling her, and she talks to her cat about being stood up, and yeah, that she just has to accept that Bobo just isn't into her. Anyway, Manfred calls the group. We have Joe, we have Chewie, we have Lemuel, we have Creek, we have Manfred and Olivia, and everyone is asking Manfred about what he encountered, and Joe ends up drawing the face of the creature that Manfred encountered. And yeah, Lemuel is like, that's a succubus. So our gang is after a succubus this time around. And they all talk about how they're supposed to knock her out, and Fiji is the one who ends up knowing how to at least end the glamour that the succubus have, because apparently they need dragon fire to kill a succubus. Anyway, we see Creek's brother come into the bar, and Creek was the one who was following Manfred, and and he tells Creek about Manfred going to a strip club and blah blah blah, and that she shouldn't trust him. Anyway, over at Olivia is casually waterboarding a guy because she wants to find out why he was following her and who paid him to do so. But before she could get any answers, Lemuel tells her that she's needed and they have a mission to go to. Anyway, over at Fiji ends up creating the tincture that they'll be using to end the glamour on the succubus. And yeah, Olivia finds out that her father is the one who sent this man in the bathtub after her. And yeah, this pains Olivia. We don't get an answer now, but you can see that she's clearly pained, and Lemuel takes some of her pain away so she can compose herself. Anyway, they all go to the bar to to find the succubus, and apparently it's the same bar that Bobo is in. And Bobo is about to kill one of the sons of Lucifer, but Fiji barges in and she uses her telekinetic witchy power to stop Bobo from killing someone, as well as inflict fear. And I guess the rest of the sons of Lucifer will think twice before attacking Midnight or even attacking Bobo. And yeah, Fiji gives Bobo a piece of her mind about how he was stupid, that he thought that he would be able to take on the sons of Lucifer all by himself. Anyway, she also tells him about how she's with everyone else and they're after a succubus. While finding a succubus, Chewie is obviously worried about the whale thinning and negative energy affecting supernatural beings. And it turns out that Chewie is a fallen angel as well. At first, I thought that Chewie was a human and that Joe was a fallen angel. But then I thought about it after episode 2 and 3, and I was like, if Joe is married to Chewie and Joe is immortal and Chewie is a human, how is that marriage going to work? And how many people did like Joe end up loving? Because apparently he's an angel and he should be here since the beginning of time. But yeah, both of these beings being fallen angel and loving each other and being married to each other, that makes more sense of these two being in a relationship together. Anyway, Creek's brother ends up following Creek into the bar, and she takes him into the parking lot and tells him that he's only 17, he's not an adult, and he can't take any risks. But while she's talking to her brother in the parking lot, she notices the blonde woman who's the succubus, and she sprays that woman with a tincture to end her glamour, and everyone comes rushing in. And we see that, and Lemuel takes the succubus into a forest away from the public, and we see that without the glamour, the succubus is an old woman. And yeah, I also read some reviews where they were talking about the whole trope about old women being crazy and unattractive and youth being beautiful and needed. So yeah, this was a trope, but then again, this is a succubus, so it's not like the writers could do much with the mythology. However, they can balance out the playing field by introducing an incubus. That's a male counterpart to the succubus, so hopefully we might end up getting an incubus sooner or later. Anyway, they aren't able to defeat the succubus yet, and it runs away and ends up going after Creek's brother. But before she could attack Creek's brother, we see Manfred coming in with the propane gas. But even though they don't have the dragon fire with them, they end up using a propane gas to melt the succubus into a gooey mess. And yeah, apparently, even though Lemuel was trying to talk to the succubus about not killing people, the succubus hunger was insatiable. So yeah, it was. I guess it would have continued to attack people, so it had to go. Anyway, we see Olivia returning to her home, and she sends the person free. And we also get a backstory regarding Olivia about how her father abandoned her with the woman he married, and how that woman was into pills. But when she wasn't able to get enough money, she ended up selling Olivia. And yeah, so Olivia's backstory is complex, and I'd like to see more of it as the episodes continue. We also get a scene between Joe and Chewie, and Chewie is worried that because of the whale thing, it might end up affecting him. And Joe is here to just calm him down and say that they don't need to worry about anything else and they'll be safe. And this actually made me remember the scene where Joe was like, Chewie and I will be gone out of this town, when he was talking to the Reverend. So yeah, these two need to go if they don't want the thinning of the wheel to affect them. And maybe the thinning of the wheel affected them, and they ended up doing something horrible, and that's why they're fallen angels now. So yeah, this whole mystery is very interesting. And talking about the Reverend, I really missed him in this episode. Coming to the end of the episode, we get a scene between Creek and Manfred, so these two are still a thing. And we also get a fun little scene between Fiji and Bobo. And Bobo like realizes that he loves Fiji, and even though Fiji was friend zoned in the previous episode, these two kiss. So yeah, we have couples. Everyone is a couple in Midnight Texas, and it's fun. It's a fun little dynamic. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the episode down in the comment section below. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys later.